2011 saw a record-breaking number of whooping cough infections across the country, with 38,500 reported cases, an increase of over 11% on the previous year. A recent study found that a previously undiscovered strain of the disease may be the cause of up to 84% of recent outbreaks. The new strain is shown to be resistant to the current pertussis vaccine and is capable of breaking through. Dr. Robert Menzies of the National Centre for Immunisation Research and Surveillance of Vaccine-Preventable Diseases says that while the new strain is cause for concern, the limitations of the current vaccine have been known for some time and that a new vaccine is what is needed.
There has been a change over time in the strains of pertussis disease in New South Wales over a 10-year period. One possible explanation is that this is in response to vaccine immunity from the vaccine. We knew that vaccine immunity waned between 5 and 10 years after vaccination, and we've known that for some time, but we're getting some evidence now to suggest that it might be less than that. It might be 2 to 4 years, for example. And there are vaccines available in other countries that have 5 components in it, so you could argue that this sort of shift might be more difficult to happen with a 5-component vaccine, but we don't know that for sure. So that is one possibility, but we're definitely looking to the future for better vaccines than that.
A growing number of anti-vaccine campaigners feel differently. Many feel that the new strain of the disease proves that vaccines are not effective and that a new vaccine is not the answer. They've taken to the internet to spread their message, often using shocking illustrations to get their point across. Dr. Vera Scheibner is a now retired principal research scientist with a doctorate in natural sciences. Dr. Scheibner currently devotes her time to campaigning against vaccinations for diseases such as whooping cough.
Well, parents should not vaccinate their children against anything, whether it is whooping cough or any other disease, because right through the whole of 20th century, the immunologists have been demonstrating that vaccines do not immunize, that they actually de-immunize, that they suppress the immune system. They sensitize, which means they increase the susceptibility of the recipients to the very disease which the vaccines are supposed to prevent, and to a host of related and unrelated bacterial and viral infections. So that's why children not only get whooping cough and poliomyelitis, measles straight after vaccination, but they get ear infections, they get invasive bacterial infections, with the Haemophilus influenzae B and all that stuff. Why? Because the original vaccine, no matter which one it is, suppressed the children's immune system and made them susceptible to everything.
Rebecca Bowering, a mother of 2, agrees. She chose not to vaccinate her children and uses her work as a chiropractor to encourage others to think before they vaccinate.
We did as much research as we could do and questioned ourselves at every turn. It wasn't something that we just went, we are people who don't vaccinate and this is what we're going to do. So we wanted to make our decisions based on a case-by-case basis. And I haven't at any stage thought, gee, I wish I'd vaccinated against that disease. I have thought, gee, I wish there was alternatives to putting a whole bunch of chemicals in my kid's body. In my practice, I give people advice on a range of topics, cloth nappies and organic food and general healthy living. So I do give them information on places they can go and look if they're looking to investigate before they vaccinate.
New parents James and Candice Ford say that for them, not vaccinating was never an option.
Well, I guess I'm a nurse and I'm seeing babies sick with whooping cough and rotavirus, and for me it was pretty much a no-brainer. We were just going to do it.
I suppose, yeah, when we were considering vaccination, I suppose the only real consideration was when we were going to do it, when it fitted into our life the best, when she was going to be less unsettled, I suppose. But it wasn't really a question of whether we were going to or whether we weren't. It was always... We always kind of had that idea that we would vaccinate, I suppose.
Dr. Menzies urges parents to vaccinate and says that while the vaccine is not perfect, it's the only option to stop diseases such as whooping cough.
The fact that these things are funded by the by the Federal Health Department and recommended means that there's an enormous amount of work has gone into studying the vaccines, trialling the vaccines, and proving that they're safe and proving that they work. If they weren't safe or they didn't work, there's no reason to fund them and recommend them for everybody. Talk to someone from an older generation, talk to your parents or your grandparents about what it was like when these diseases were still around. They seem that there is a low level of awareness of what a lot of these diseases are like, because they're simply not around anymore. And the simple reason for that is because of vaccines.